There goes the bell that only means one thing. It's time for the recess table.
Grab a chair, sports fans. It's another episode of the Recess Table. It's your all-Filipino NBA podcast for the Filipino NBA fan. We are recording this November 17, 2014. Partly for posterity reasons and partly because we want to make sure na accurate yung sinasabi namin. So you don't give a shit for not, being accurate, right? By the way, for the newcomers, my name is Stan C. Follow me on Twitter at Stan947.
At his left, Jandrick Lim at J Limberlake.
This is Mark Esparas, also known as X-Pac, and follow me at X-Pac.
Oh.
This is TJ Santos, and
Newbie!
you can follow me at TJ Santos with 3 S's at the end.
What happened to Goping, man, with the number one?
Dudu man, high school pa yun.
Grade school email ko pa yun. Wala na yun. Retired na.
My name is Anton Aureliano. You can follow me at Aureliano Ton. I am the biggest Sixer fan. And I may sound sick right now, only because of the weather, but not really because we're winless.
Right.
Everybody, welcome to our third episode entitled The Franchise. Stevie Franchise. Why ba Stevie Franchise, guys?
I don't know. I guess when he came in, he was really just a franchise player for the Houston Rockets. Remember, he came in the year after they traded Hakeem to the Raptors.
Right.
So they were kind of looking for an identity.
He wasn't drafted by the Rockets.
Yeah,
That's the
Vancouver.
Yeah,
by Vancouver.
Where he didn't want to play.
So he forced his way out.
Yeah.
I think he was the most unglorified mama's boy. Because that's the reason why he didn't want to play for the Grizzlies, was because he was too far from his mom. So he wanted a team that was closer to his mom. So I guess that's...
And it had to do with Canada. I think
He didn't like
players
Canada.
then don't like playing in Canada. They didn't know na okay din pala dun. So.
Who was there that
Players.
time?
Big
Country. Big Country.
Who wouldn't want to play for Big Country? Sharif was there.
It was
Yeah,
Sharif.
Mike Bibby.
It was a fairly new franchise,
Ah,
actually,
right,
Vancouver.
expansion.
And now they're the number one team in the NBA.
Right. So now that we're talking about drafts and the rookie years, I guess this episode will be basically all about the 2014 rookie class.
That's right.
Promised.
As promised,
Yeah, we
One of
forgot
the
to
most-
talk about this kasi last time.
we
Yeah.
did one of the most overhyped, maybe, drafts in recent memories.
Maybe.
Don't listen to the hype.
I am not the hype.
It's too early.
And this was collective hype. Kasi in 2003, it was actually LeBron and Melo was the hype.
Yeah,
was,
going into that
That
year.
was the hype.
Right.
But this class,
Everyone, man.
Parang-
Everyone got their fair share of attention.
Actually, this 2014 draft class was helped out by the 2013 draft class.
Because of Nerlens.
no, because they
They
suck.
suck. so I mean, that craving, that fresh new talent that us NBA fans crave for, the influx of new talent every year, medyo kulang from 2013. From 2013, who did we have? MC Dub, Oladipo, the Greek
Oladipo.
Freak.
And that's it.
Olenek.
That's it.
Yeah, fine. I'll take that. Kasi Celtics fan din. Oh, yeah, fine. All
I
in.
guess Olenek,
The next
Macklemore,
Dirk.
Macklemore,
Trey Burke.
sure.
Trey.
Yeah, but exactly. See, we can't even remember those names.
And we
diba? Parang-
have to remember that who was the number one pick in.
Anthony fucking Bennett.
Anthony
Yeah.
Bennett. Oh,
I think it's too early.
It
It's
is
too
too
early.
Yeah.
It is early to judge. All right, so let's just have a quick review of the 2014 draft class. Subplots, maybe. I mean, do you guys think the lottery was fixed when the Cleveland Cavaliers got the number one pick again? 3 out of the past 4 years.
I don't know. I'm still bitter. Puta, how can you be so bad as to win 3 lotteries in 4 years? That's just fucked up.
It's just crazy because if you think about it, if the whole LeBron signing didn't happen,
Yeah.
they'd have how many number one picks?
4.
3 in the
Anthony
last 4
Bennett.
years.
well,
3.
Right.
yeah, but
Anthony
if you're
Kyrie,
counting the last.
And then this year's Wiggins, right?
Right.
Team Canada in Cleveland.
Exactly. Tristan Thompson, not to mention, but not rookie, but from
Well, he was
Canada.
top 5,
Fourth
right?
Top 5. And
Dion
then-
Waiters.
Dion Waiters
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
So basically, they would have had that top 5.
They would be what Philly is aspiring for, basically.
Basically.
Yeah,
diba?
Except, I hope we
they,
don't
they,
turn out
well,
that way.
they got there quicker. Cleveland, Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, if it
LeBron.
wasn't for LeBron, I don't think they would be they would be playoff contenders.
Oh, no.
Correct.
So it's not really about getting the number one picks. It's about building your team and knowing that these picks are worth drafting for the future.
Right. And
Or
for
for
those
someone.
Right, and for those who have been, living under a rock, that number 1 overall pick was packaged to trade for Kevin Love, which is now one of the, I guess, most prominent big threes in the league. But yeah, alright, so going back to the draft, number 1 overall pick, Canada's own Maple Jordan, Andrew Wiggins.
Are you surprised at all na Andrew Wiggins is performing at the rate he is for the Wolves? Because when you look at the Wolves, their roster is gutted right now. Gutted in the sense na they don't really have an identity and they're trying to search for it. And in the middle of them trying to search for that identity...
You mean the Bounce Brothers identity?
They're encountering some bumps along the way. Ricky Rubio is down. Thad Young is
down.
Out at the moment.
Exactly.
Diba? So...
Condolence, Thad.
Sorry, man.
Our condolences, Thad.
So they're trying to look for that identity. Are they right to look at Wiggins for that identity?
I think so. I mean, Minneapolis is really close to Canada. So them having those 2 top Canadian players, Anthony Bennett and Andrew Wiggins, probably helps in their, I guess, TV ratings, ticket sales maybe. And what helps too is that they got high flyers. Zach LaVine, you got Andrew Wiggins. I guess right now,
Pretty exciting players
right.
there.
I guess what they're doing is they're building their brand from the ground up. They're appealing to younger fans because I'm sure older fans won't appreciate Minnesota Timberwolves basketball right now.
I think that when you look at it, I think Andrew Wiggins is they're developing him into how they developed Kevin Garnett, especially that when Kevin Garnett went to Minnesota, Flip Saunders was the coach, and now Flip Saunders is the coach.
The biggest difference though is that Kevin McHale was there to hone Kevin Garnett. I don't know if anyone's in Minnesota right now to help Andrew Wiggins out.
It's not exactly a good thing that they're trying to make Andrew Wiggins follow in Garnett's footsteps. I'm a Garnett fan, so I would know that 12 years, he only advanced past the first round once. They failed to surround him with talent that will elevate him over the top. Pretty much what LeBron went through in Cleveland.
Dude, Troy Hudson was talented. Cash money, Troy!
Fuck Troy Hudson. Fuck Ventrell Sprewell. Fuck Sam Cassell.
Parang may Gary Trent pa, Mark Jackson, the big
Michael
man.
Olowokandi.
Dude, they had Irvin fucking Johnson starting at center against the
God,
Lakers.
You mean Irvin, not Magic Johnson?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they had Oliver Pig Miller coming off the bench.
Right.
Oh my God.
Well, I guess since we're on the topic of the Minnesota Timberwolves right now, aside from Andrew Wiggins, we mentioned earlier, they have Zach LaVine.
Mr. Fuck Me.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I guess... at some
Maybe it
point
was
all
taken
these-
in the wrong context, but
What was he, the 14th overall
13th?
pick? 13th overall pick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I guess they wanted themselves to be called the Bounce Brothers, right? I guess that's kind of fair.
Sure, I mean, panlaban sa Splash Brothers.
Splash.
Yeah, we'll give them that.
Right, we have the Splash Brothers, the Slash Brothers in Phoenix, we got the Bounce Brothers in Minnesota, and I hope we have the Dime Brothers in New Orleans because I like Drew Holiday.
All right, we spent too much time talking about Minnesota. Fuck Soda right now. I swear to God. Sorry. Galit pa rin ako sa Soda because of,
David North!
because of fucking David Kahn. Fuck
Winter
David
is
Kahn.
coming!
All right, how about Jabari Parker though on the Bucks? One of siya ba yung naka 20 points? So that was Wiggins, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wiggins and Bogan.
His high right now is
Bogan.
18.
Right, but Jabari Parker, all eyes are on him because people are actually looking at him as the likely Rookie of the Year candidate. But how is he faring in Milwaukee given his role and given the amount of talent he's around?
Jabbar is being underutilized for me.
And I think he's also passing up a lot of shots. Siguro he's shy but to take a lot of shots, be the volume shooter that he can be
Actually,
as of now.
I beg to differ because when I watch Buck games, not that a lot of people watch it, but when I do get to catch,
J-Kid fan alert.
Jabari Parker on the court, it feels like sometimes he rushes his shots
That's actually
at
true.
times,
Papi, baka nervous kayo yung Mallory Edens.
Well, di ko alam kung type niya si Mallory Edens. Basta ako, type ko si Mallory Edens.
Basta I know he can't have too many impure thoughts because he's ano diba? He's Mormon. So
Mormon,
he can't do
exactly.
anything. But no, but the thing about Jabari is it kind of worries me kasi he's been compared to Carmelo Anthony,
Paul Pierce. Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And I could see that he might not have the balls yet to take as many shots. I mean, if you look at the box score, we've seen him take shots like 7 shots or 8 shots, 9 shots, whatever a game. I guess, does that pertain to him not being too much of an alpha dog? Is that something to be worried about?
Or actually, when you look at it, look at their roster. They have Brandon Knight,
Right.
OJ Mayo,
Giannis.
Yeah.
Giannis, like they all want to score as well. When Melo was in Denver, you had Andre Miller, who was a pass first point guard, and other supporting cast,
Nene.
like Nene and Marcus
Passing
Camby.
big man as well.
They weren't
Passing
really
big man.
scorers. They were, they were really.
So we
Facility.
had to score.
Yeah, so he had to score. The same with Paul Pierce. Only Antoine Walker was the other scorer there.
That's true.
Right. I just feel like the mentality Giannis has should be the mentality that
Of-
Jabari
exactly.
has. Whenever Giannis is on the floor, he has this aura that, you know what, this is my team. I'm going to carry this team.
But it took 1 year for Giannis to get that mindset. Keep in mind,
it?
last
I
year he
feel like-
wasn't as confident.
He wasn't as confident. He was as aggressive last year. He was out of control at
Yep.
times, actually. But he always had that mindset that, all right, I'm going to get this rebound, I'm going to push the floor, and, fuck it, whatever happens, happens.
Pretty
Although-
much like Russell Westbrook.
Although when you
Exactly.
look at it, I think the Bucks are doing pretty well.
5-5.
5-5.
I think they're aiming for the playoffs as well, and maybe Jabari thinks that trying to score a lot will lead the team.
I'm sorry, I cut you there. I'm not so sure nga that ngayon kasi he was thrown into the fire, diba? He started, si Wiggins originally was supposed to come off from the bench, but I don't know if pressure or kaya eventually nag-start na rin siya. Pero ito si Jabari, I don't know nga if Giannis
He's off the
actually,
bench.
yeah,
Giannis is
yeah,
off the
I
bench.
don't know if
They'll start.
no. I don't know if the Greek Freak deserves to start over Jabari the way that they've been playing, ha. I mean, like, parang kasi rookie din, parang less pressure and stuff, and at least ito
Yes.
sa off the bench, siya yung primary scorer. No, alam mo hindi siya mahiya. Eh dito, sina Brandon Knight have to take their shots, eh, 'di ba? You know what I mean?
Or maybe he's playing. He's not playing in his natural position. Maybe he's a real small forward, but he's actually playing power forward right now.
Power forward.
No, he's been playing out in the wing.
Oh yeah.
The thing about, I think, also is that we expected too much from Jabari.
Yeah,
we
possibly.
heard all the talk coming to the draft. Oh, he's the most NBA ready. I mean, Reggie Miller even said in one of their open court episodes, if I were to pick a rookie to score 17 to 20 points per game right now, I'd say Jabari. He's barely scoring over 11.
And I think that's really what hampers a lot of rookies in terms of development. The amount of pressure because of the expectations.
Right.
So let's look at a team na walang pressure kasi puta na wala silang expectations. The Philadelphia 76ers.
In Hinkie we trust!
Right, and Joel Embiid, of course, still not playing, but you have two rookies, high profile at this early on, in Nerlens Noel and KJ McDaniels.
Well, I mean, KJ McDaniels, 32nd overall pick. There's a possibility. I mean, he's in the running for Rookie of the Year. I mean, can we at least all be?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Steal of the draft.
Which
Steal
is
of the draft.
which is great because you know how like we always hear about these records being set like in the 80s or 90s, and we've never actually been able to witness anything. I mean, in that sense, KJ McDaniels has the chance to win Rookie of the Year as a second round pick.
And it's not every year you see something like that
It's
happen.
not
Exactly.
every year. I mean, we've had some second round pick gems in the past. You got your Arenases,
Manu
Ginobili, yeah, exactly.
Isaiah Thomas,
Chandler Parsons.
Chandler Parsons, right? But the thing is, I guess KJ McDaniels has the opportunity to strive because we don't to thrive because we don't have talent right now in Philly.
And we don't expect anything out of Philly.
Well, you guys don't.
I do next year.
Next year, right?
Actually,
3 years. How in 3 years?
I liked it when you mentioned that. What if there was a defensive rookie of the year award? And definitely right now, by the looks of it, it's KJ that's leading that race.
well, yeah.
Doing it both ends of the floor, man.
He's a potential future defensive player of the year.
KJ McDaniels. I hope so, man. I mean,
Parang Tony Allen.
If he
Right.
becomes like Tony Allen,
right. I mean, like, a lot of Filipino fans don't really follow the NCAA as much. But then there's a division in the NCAA called the Atlantic Coast Conference, or ACC.
Uh-huh.
You've got powerhouse schools such as Duke,
UNC.
Wake Forest,
Wow.
Clemson.
Yeah.
I think Syracuse is ACC now. And KJ McDaniels, playing shooting guard, small forward, led that whole division in blocks per game.
And he plays shooting guard.
And he plays wing.
Wing.
I mean, how often do you hear about that?
Yeah.
I have no idea how this guy was how this guy fell in the second round with players like Bruno Caboclo,
I don't.
Clint
I
Capela.
don't know.
Clint Capela,
Yeah.
Josh
Eustace.
all
Getting
being
picked ahead of
drafted
him.
in front of him. I mean, could you imagine hashtag everybody down Oklahoma City Thunder having KJ
Exactly.
McDaniels right
Yeah.
now? That'd be insane.
They had 2 chances
They
to
had
get
two
him.
chances to
Two
get him.
chances.
Although Mitch McGarry is going to be a good
Yeah.
player, I feel like. But then we didn't even get to talk about the first 2 picks of the Sixers this year as much. I mean, we talked about Nerlens Noel,
Yeah.
who was drafted last year, 6th overall.
But
And then
just coming in right this
coming
year.
in this year,
Yeah,
who's been struggling a bit, you know. But then this year we have Joel Embiid, who probably won't play this year, although he's leading all rookies in Rihanna tweets.
Yep.
He's been trying to get in.
Rihanna tweets per
Yeah.
game, per day, per minute.
Yeah, RTPG.
Lagot siya sa Young Money pa.
Right, and our Filipino fans are they actually know our second pick, 10th overall. No, we traded our 10th pick for the 12th overall pick, Dario Saric, because we played against him
Exactly.
in the FIBA tournament.
FIBA World
You know,
Cup.
I mean, granted, Jeff Chan kind of owned his ass, which I was kind of torn about that, but. You know, I'm excited about him too. I see him projected to be a Boris Diaw type player.
Or Tony Kukoc.
Or, I hope so. I mean, Tony Kukoc. I feel like Tony Kukoc is better than Boris Diaw.
If you're gonna talk about a Tony Kukoc prototype, I think they're trying to mold Nick Mirotic of Chicago into a Tony Kukoc type.
Actually, that's what they've been saying. I mean, you've got 2 stretch players now in Chicago. I mean, they've been lacking shooters for like how many years now?
And now they're
Since Kyle
stacked.
Korver, yeah.
They've got
Now
they've
there's
got Mike Dunleavy and Nick Mirotic.
And actually, a lot of,
Everyone's got shooting.
and a lot of people actually in Chicago's having good shooting games, like Kurt
Aaron
Hendricks,
Aaron
Aaron Brooks.
Dude, Jimmy Butler
Jimmy
can shoot now.
He's pushing 20 a game.
yeah, Jimmy, most improved player maybe.
Maybe.
Tana sobrang swerte naman naka-draft kay Jimmy Butler this year in
Contract
fantasy.
year.
That's
Oh,
true.
big,
Or-
That's right.
He
That's
wants the
big.
money.
And he did get that extension, did he? Kasi
No,
eligible
he
siya
didn't.
for an extension, di ba,
He
prior to
didn't.
October
He didn't,
31.
He'll be a
They're
restricted
free agent.
So
But
they
I
might
think
play
he
the-
wants to test the market, because especially that the way he's performing right now.
which is basically the Chandler Parsons scenario that every GM is afraid of right now.
Come to Philly, Jimmy. Come to Philly. We got the money for it. We got the space. We got the shot attempts.
When it comes to free agency, since there's a bonanza of free agents and restricted free agents, it has to be said that it takes just one asshole to fuck up the market, and it's basically what Dallas was in that Chandler Parsons scenario. And I'm gonna have to bring this up because
Because you're still heartbroken.
Yeah, as a
yes,
Houston
because
Rocket fan.
and as a Parsons fan.
Ariza was a good.
Arizo's a great
Yeah,
player.
replacement.
Oh naman, I'm not gonna deny that now. But the fact that they let Chandler go because of that ballsy move by Mark Cuban and the Mavs.
You just like Chandler Parsons because he's better looking than Trevor Ariza.
Papi, only one person in the NBA can be paid to both look good and play basketball. That's Chandler Parsons.
JJ Redick?
JJ Redick.
No, JJ Redick doesn't have.
Papi yun.
He's not
Pero-
sponsored by David Beton, Papi.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. But hey, before we go back to the draft talk, since we were in the free agent
Right.
talk right now, I've always wanted the NBA to try and pick some stuff up from different leagues.
Uh-huh.
And right now, the NFL, National Football League, for those who aren't really aware of how they deal with free agents, they have this thing called the franchise tag.
Right,
So-
right. I think I've heard of this.
So whenever a player becomes a free agent, and the talks have been, I guess, slow in terms of extending a contract or signing a new contract, the team, the home team, or the team from which that player is coming from, has the right to say, nope, you're not going anywhere. We're putting the franchise tag on you for at least a year to delay the time to have, I guess, more extension talks or whatnot. I think having a franchise tag in the NBA can help, especially for Houston Rocket fans. You guys could have franchise tagged Chandler Parsons, and you guys could have had one whole year to talk about, hey, dude, come on, stay with us, man. Something like that.
I think though that in this scenario where ang lakas ng dissent between the players union and the NBA
Yep.
owners,
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
not going to happen kasi they still have that mentality na it's the old white boys club versus the rich young black guys club. Right, where parang they feel like the old white boys rich kids club is still trying to oppress them.
Yeah, being bullied around.
Pretty much. So I don't. While it's a novel idea and while I think it might help in future CBAs, it's not something we're likely going to see moving forward very soon.
I hope so. I mean, when's the next CBA agreement?
2017, but
Yeah,
17, something like that.
17,
I mean, that's not too far away. I hope we get some changes. I mean, owners are making so much money, and then the NBA has a salary cap. Why can't we be more like the MLB? You know, something like that.
The problem right now, sorry, just to extend this argument a little bit longer, is when you have a new executive director in the union like Michelle Roberts, who's still trying to gain respect around the league.
True.
Ang laki pa ng pressure on her shoulders to even go for a ballsy move, like let's say instituting this franchise tag clause in the CBA. Like her first step right now is really just gaining the respect of everyone around the league. In the same way that Adam Silver did that, sobrang swerte niya, he was in the perfect storm of circumstances when this whole Donald Sterling shit blew up in the NBA.
Right, and he had the opportunity to actually implement his power.
Yeah, he handled it perfectly,
He
man.
handled it perfectly. I mean, PR-wise, he got the respect of the players, but Alright, so going back to the draft. Fourth overall pick,
Aaron Gordon.
Dante. Oh, that's right, Aaron Gordon.
He's injured.
He broke his foot.
So next.
I think he's
Give him a share, give him a
away
share.
from actually contributing
That's true.
to a team.
So 2 years away lang.
Not 2 years.
No.
I feel bad for the Orlando Magic though because you get Oladipo back from a broken face, and then you get Aaron Gordon, breaking his foot, and he's out indefinitely. Although they do have another rookie who's been
Elfrid
playing
Payton.
really well, Elfrid Payton.
I think he's a dark horse for Rookie of the Year.
I think so.
Actually, he is my pick for Rookie of the Year.
There you go.
I think he can be a Rondo type player where he would distribute the ball and sometimes he won't shoot wide open layups just to pass the ball. He's that type of player. And
He's a good defensive player.
He's a great
he's a
defensive
great
player.
defensive player.
I was watching the game between the Magic and the Sixers, and I've never seen anyone take balls away from Tony Roten that way. I mean, he was amazing. It was just clean steal after clean steal. Tony Roten was getting pissed.
Granted, Tony Roten is a turnover machine.
No, that's true, but then he turns the ball over on passes, not because of
dribbling.
steals.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's the first time I've ever seen anyone shut him down that way. But at the same time, I love Elfrid Payton because I feel like today's point guard is more of a shoot first point guard.
May hugot tayo dyan eh.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of those point guards. I like point guards who are
Old
like
school throwback.
yeah, because I mean I
Rondo.
was a big fan of Jason Kidd growing up, and Jason Kidd would have like I don't know 2 shot attempts, like 15 assists, and like 10 boards. That's my kind of point guard. I think Elfrid Payton has the opportunity to influence younger point guards to be like, hey, you know what? Let's bring this kind of point guard back.
He's parang molded that way, no? That's how he's built.
Defense and passing first. Haircut later.
In fairness, in the hair game, he's quite up there,
Though there's
terrible.
there's
bad.
a
It's
downside
bad.
to that because NBA offenses now are about spacing.
That's true too.
And sometimes if you can't shoot, your defender will sag off you, and your shooters won't have much space.
Right. I mean, we saw Jason Kidd adjust to that towards the end of his career when he was wide open. I mean, when he was with the Mavs, he was
their three-point shooter.
Three-point shooter.
And he ended up number 3 all time in three-point
There you go.
shooting.
See, it's all about, I guess, the opportunity you're given. If the D is sagging, you gotta make them pay.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't like the Kyrie Irvings or Steph Currys or like even though the defenders aren't sagging off of you, I'm gonna take the shot over you anyway.
All right, we're pushing 20 minutes on our top 4 or 5 picks. So let's try to make it a round table discussion naman. Let's bring up some rookie names and let's say ano mga observations natin. How about guys like Dante Exum and Marcus Smart
And Julius Randle.
Well, there's not much to be said about Randle because he's out for the season, which sucks.
Really sucks.
And then we said this no opening episode. Na putang na malas mo your first game, you're starstruck to be next to Kobe Bryant, and then you get fucking carted out.
I mean, if you look at the rookies this year, there are a lot of injuries, man.
Like Marcus Smart.
I mean, no, you start from the top. Joel Embiid hasn't even played. Aaron Gordon breaks his foot.
Smart.
Vonleh hasn't played. Smart
gets injured.
Gets injured. Randall gets injured.
Mitch McGarry
hasn't played.
Caboclo isn't probably in the country. There are a lot of rookies who haven't even gotten the opportunity to play. James Young is in the
Actually,
league
see,
now, right?
Gary
James
Harris
Young hasn't
just
played.
debuted.
Gary Harris just debuted.
Just debuted.
Kind of crazy fucking
Crazy
dunk.
dunk. Exactly.
Oh my god.
Which his mom missed.
His mom missed. Right.
What was Sandu?
Has Adrian Payne played?
I think so. Yeah.
I think actually I'm not sure.
Adrian Payne, Atlanta.
No, not yet. Not yet. He's not yet recovered.
Doesn't he have a condition?
Yeah. Well, basta nagre-rehab pa siya. So
See, everyone is hurt.
Yeah, just
Everyone
making
is
sure that
hurt.
he's healthy.
It's
Hashtag
crazy.
everybody down.
I think that's the theme for this year. In the NBA. Everyone is
Ang
just
saklap eh.
hurt.
No, it's worse than last year. Because last year, I remember having bitched about it. Then, like, what a bad year it was for
Well,
for injury.
almost every year we always, there's a lot of injuries almost every year.
But this one's crazy. This year
a
is
little bit
crazy.
more than the usual.
Ito lang, let me throw this out there. Has there ever been a year to your memory na parang everybody was relatively healthy? Like there wasn't a single marquee star who missed an extended amount of time.
It's hard because Derrick Rose exists.
Putang ina.
He always misses time, which is sad.
And before, Tracy McGrady was always injured,
Yeah.
Yao Ming was
Yeah,
injured. So it's hard to find a year where
That's
all the
true.
players were healthy.
Maybe in the 90s.
No, you had Penny Hardaway in Grant Hill.
Before he got hurt, before they got hurt.
Yeah, actually they were
They're
injured
relatively
during the
healthier.
2000s
Yeah.
already.
I guess there were parts of the night. I can't even think of a major injury in the 90s. Now that I think about it, I wonder
Grant
why.
Hill, man, Grant Hill.
That was like the latter part.
Late
2000.
90s na yun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder why, because the game back then was so much more physical.
That's-
But then people are more injury prone.
I think
now.
it's more of the athletes are more, more athletic. They
Right.
they use their athleticism more. They dunk more. The game's more faster. Even like when you look at the 90s, the game was
Slow.
it was slow. It was
plays.
the plays,
Yeah.
like it was all shooting, like what we talked about before our episode right now was the mid-range.
Speaking of mid-range game and shooting, we forgot to mention another second-round pick who's been playing really well recently.
Boyan.
Well, Boyan too, but he was drafted in 2011.
Yeah.
Pero rookie pa rin
He's
siya.
a rookie,
Technically.
right now.
stroke. But I was actually going to talk about Joe Harris for the Cavs.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, sweet stroke.
Sweet stroke, sweet
Virginia. I mean, they picked him over KJ McDaniels, but still.
Well, in college, he was known as the pure shooter.
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen a stroke like that since JJ Redick.
JJ Reddy, I was about to say.
Right? It's just amazing, and I think he's been starting recently or something like that. He's been playing.
He
a lot.
actually closed the Celtics game over the weekend.
There you go.
Exactly.
I mean, he's been playing really well for the Cavs. And which brings us to that discussion: is this draft class overhyped or really deep?
Now, that's a very good question, pero off the top of my head, I would have to say, and it's still too early to tell.
It is. I mean, just based off of 3 weeks of basketball, I think I'm actually leaning towards deep.
Deep, exactly. I would like to say, temper expectations of people because, I think with social media, stats, fantasy, and everything, everyone's expectations are through the roof. When you think about it, I like the way the pace is going for the production of the rookies. Nobody's topping the 20 points per game.
No
No
one.
one's coming out of the gates.
Who's seeing the rookies in scoring right now?
Andrew Wiggins.
With like
Wiggins.
11 points per game?
yeah,
Yeah, because
It-
it was 20-point game, I think.
Yeah.
But if you take a look closely at the game, they're actually fitting in well with their respective teams. I'd like to actually highlight Marcus Smart. I was expecting him to start because I didn't expect that Rondo would be back. But during the limited minutes that he plays, God, that defense is NBA ready, man.
Oh,
His
man.
body,
I
his
love
game,
it. Yeah.
his
I
game
love
is
it.
NBA ready. I think sayang din eh. Parang I felt that had Randall not get injured,
Not injured, yeah.
Diba? Parang I think they're producing at just a steady rate. So that di siya yung parang tipong year na there's an outlier and then he can't live up to that hype. I
Like
think
Brandon Jennings.
exactly,
or Tyreek Evans.
Right?
No, I think
but now he's on the way
Tyreek's
back.
good now. Tyreek's good.
Yeah.
You know what? The thing about Marcus Smart, and this hurts me because I'm a Sixers fan, so we gotta play the Celtics at least 4 times a year. The moment the Celtics drafted Marcus Smart, and I was at Skinny Mike Sports Bar, by the way, in the fort, I was like, oh fuck. Because they have Marcus Smart and Avery Bradley.
That's a
Yeah.
tough.
They're- Oh my god. that
Those
is
are pit bulls.
man.
That is a 2-man
They
full
can-
court press.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And I was like,
Crazy, man.
Alright, how are we gonna counter this in Philadelphia?
Good luck, MC Dub.
MC Dub and
MC
Tony
Dub
Roman at
and
the
Tony
same
Roman.
time.
Parang kaya nga darating na si Dario eh. Kailangan mo ng third
Yeah,
guard
the
dun eh.
point
Yung third
I'll just outlet the pass to the tallest guy you see. And I'm just afraid. I mean, you see Roten and MCW, they're not the strongest guys. I mean, they're kind of skinny. And then you see Marcus Smart, who's a freaking... his body reminds me of Mitch Richmond, the Rock.
Yeah.
He's just built like a freaking rock. I mean, just don't call him the N-word or he'll push him in the face like he did to that one
Yeah,
guy.
exactly.
Okay, guys. Like, how about the rest? Like, what do you think? Is it too deep of a draft class right now, or are they overhyped? Is it too early to tell? Because I'm really taking that stance. Like, ayoko pa magsalita just because 3 weeks isn't really enough of a time to see who are sino talaga yung star players moving forward in this draft class.
I think it's a combination of deep and at the same time it's too early to tell. Like when you look at it, the top 3, top 4, I think top 5 players drafted was freshmen. Well, except for Dante Exum, who was straight out of Australia.
High school.
Or
Okay,
high school.
fine. Okay.
Yeah. Mr. Safe Pickle.
Oh, I was about to bring it up.
In the middle of this.
It's true.
Okay lang, babawi naman siya sa pick and roll. He's gonna have to wear
I'm
that
not gonna
spaghetti
take
strap.
sides, I'm just gonna stay in the middle. But yeah.
I think they're deep. I think the thing about hyping draft classes, I think the hype started with LeBron, because when he was drafted, he was a star right away. But
Right.
before the draft class of LeBron, rookies were eased in. Like Kobe, 3 years before contributing. Avian Garnett, 2 years.
I beg to differ. I don't know. Have you seen the 1984 documentary, that draft class? That draft class was deep as shit. And they knew that coming in. They knew that the dream was going to be a star. They knew Jordan was going to be a star.
But
The
the
difference
they
is,
knew
though,
this.
Yeah.
But the difference is, in their first year, they weren't really superstars right away. Well, except for Jordan, I guess.
And Hakeem.
Hakeem was.
Hakeem was
Hakeem was.
Hakeem
Well,
was a
actually,
star
when you look
going
at
in.
it, Hakeem was 4 years out of college. Jordan was 3 years out of college.
They were more
And-
seasoned.
Yeah, developed
And when you look at
games.
LeBron was out of high school. Like he was the first player out of high school to average 20 points. Like Amari the year before won Rookie of the Year, and like people like whoa. But like the years before, we didn't really see any player out of
Yeah.
high school who was.
I think the
Moses?
the
Yeah, how can you forget Moses? How can you forget KG?
KG averaged like
10 points per game in his first
per
year. I think
game.
the 1984 class is an outlier because between 1984 and 2003,
That
Well,
was-
96.
96?
96, well,
Iverson.
yeah, they were eased in. Well, Iverson was.
Iverson wasn't eased in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they're
Ray
team
Allen
sucked
wasn't
then.
Ethan either.
Would,
Yeah, that's true.
would you say that LeBron is the Calvin Johnson of the NBA? Or
What do you-
is it... No.
Well, for those who
Calvin
don't know,
Johnson-
Calvin Johnson is
is-
a wide receiver in the NFL.
And his
Nicknamed
nickname is Megatron. Parang sino ba yung pinaka-outlier na rookie? Is it Anthony Davis, the Beast?
The thing with Davis, man, was when he was a rookie, he wasn't the beast that we know him now.
no
He wasn't
way.
the next
So
big
far,
thing.
yeah.
Like when people talk about Anthony Davis now, they revere him with the same kind of fear that people revere Brock Lesnar with,
Right.
both in the UFC and the WWE, and that's scary shit.
And Anthony Davis wasn't the rookie of the year. Actually, it was
Damian
Damian Lillard.
Right.
But actually, when you look at it, Anthony Davis was really drafted number 1 for his potential. Like no one really expected him to,
Be like this.
Be like this. Where
Third year.
I didn't know he was gonna gain this much muscle. He is
That's it.
freaking huge right now.
Yeah.
I had no
Scary.
idea. But going back to the earlier point.
But when you
um,
also look at it, like
what?
Anthony Davis, before going to the NBA, he was College Player of the Year. He was the champion, Final Four, most outstanding player. So he also had a lot of accomplishments and accolades when he was in 1 year of college as compared
basically
to,
Melo.
Yeah,
Basically Melo. Melo was the only rookie to lead his team to
yeah.
win
But
the
when you look
NCAA
at
championship.
the 2014 draft class, Jabaria, he was All American.
He lost in the first round of the March
Yeah,
Madness.
Andrew Wiggins lost in the second round. So
But Joel Embiid didn't play. So.
yeah.
Now here's the thing. Going back to the earlier point stressed is that LeBron James, I think, is a once in a lifetime athlete. I don't think we can even compare him to anyone right now. And in addition to that, we talked about this a few days ago. Is that I think we've been spoiled as an NBA fan, as an NBA fan community, because we've had draft classes in the past where players just come in and dominate
Right away, diba?
right away. And for us, parang, all right, that's
the
normal. That's the
expectation. Yeah, exactly.
And we tend to forget that these kids are 18, 19-year-olds. Do you guys remember how it was to be 18 and 19-year-old? I mean, it's crazy. So I can't help but give this class like some slack.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure, I'll give them that. Yeah.
Right? Because 2003, you got future Hall of Famers and champions right there and then. And then you had 2009, the year of the point guard. and Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
You know, basically
Yeah.
they all produced right away. I mean, fucking Tyreek Evans had a historical year, 25-5.
25-5.
You know what I mean? I mean,
Big O, LeBron, similar stats.
similar
25.
stats. Yeah, I mean, we took those rookies for granted to the point that we're disappointed just because they're not playing that well. But if you factor in, these guys are 18, 19-year-olds playing with grown-ass men, still playing pretty well, holding their own. I mean, that's still pretty commendable.
I guess all of our sentiments here is that we wish that this draft class would have that opportunity. Because I'm looking at it right now, I feel that the right players are picked by the right teams right now. It feels like that, at least at the onset. You know, just
Depends.
looking at the rosters on paper, it feels like it's a good fit. You know, they took into consideration. Kasi yung ibang rookies dyan, mali yung system na pinapasukan, mali yung situation, walang opportunity to shine. That's why they're easily waived. They don't really have the chance to contribute. Pero right now, parang buti na lang yung mga nagpili sa kanila, they really had that need for that position. So kahit paano, there's an opportunity to have a role.
Right.
As good as that sounds, we're not gonna say that shit 3 years down the line. Fuck Josh Hustis. Fuck you, Sam Presti, for picking Josh Hustis. That was a fucking cop-out move.
KJ!
Now look at you, OKC. Hashtag everybody down.
Parang 10 na sila, nakakadamit na sila ng 10.
Oh, they're in double digits now because Anthony Morrow's back.
Yeah.
Anthony Morrow's back.
Reggie Jackson's averaging what, 25 points per game?
But still, for a time, they were dressing how many people?
7.
7 people.
6 at their worst.
Though before we end, can we debate like project in 10 years who we think will be the best player?
No question!
2014 draft.
There is no
Just for fun.
Alright.
It's a walkout. It's a walkout. It's a walkout.
Go ahead, Stan. Who's your pick?
Pucha. You know what? Ako kasi sleeper pick ko for Rookie of the Year is Alfred Payton. Right? And I said that in episode 1. But if I were to pick just one guy who would excel, I think I would actually pick Wiggins. Just because of the potential.
Do you hear that, Anton? Wiggins!
That's one for Andrew Wiggins.
Ako, my heart says Wiggins, but I really think it would be, barring any injuries, Joel Embiid. I think he's the type of player that can change the landscape of the NBA. He's like a Hakeem Olajuwon or a Tim Duncan even, where he can dominate offensively and defensively, win MVPs, win titles.
Me, as a Celtic fan, it would hurt me, but I would have to go with Joel Embiid.
Joe.
You know what? I think
Fucking cop-outs.
Joe.
I really wanted the Celtics to draft Embiid and the
He's not dropping.
same
He's not
here.
and the
Well, at that time-
the Sixers got him. So
You know, since we're on the topic of Joel Embiid, okay, everyone is so worried about the foot injuries because of what happened to Yao Ming, and then the Greg Oden knee injuries. But people forget that the injury Joel Embiid suffered was the exact same injury one Michael Jordan suffered, and we all know how his career
Panned out.
Pero
with the technology today as compared to the technology back then.
Though Jordan was a guard, and with
Right.
big men, they have lots of
Let's not
problems
compare.
with their foot.
No, that's also a good point.
Yeah, let's not compare kunwari Yao Ming, let's say, to these other guys who were
Are you
injured.
still hurt?
Yes, I am still hurt. I am still hurt that the Chinese government fucking ran Yao Ming into the ground.
They did.
I'm still
They
fucking
did.
hurt that they had to make him fucking run through that torch. Run through all of those obstacles only for the Rockets to fucking lose Yao Ming in Game 4 of the 2009 Western Semis against the
but
Lakers.
If you look,
and forever after
if you
that.
look at Yao Ming, you just know there's just something not normal about the way he's built.
He's a genetic freak.
awkward.
His knees couldn't support his body.
I mean, you look at Joel Embiid and the way he moves, you're like, what that guy? You know what?
Gazelle, man. Gazelle.
Right. You know what? The way he's built, actually, it kind of reminds me of Anthony Davis, dude. I mean, they're not supposed to be moving like that.
And he's-
Why are they moving like
he's
that?
massive right now.
Right. I mean, and the thing about Joel Embiid too is people forget he only started playing basketball at 16.
Yeah.
The last time we saw that was one Tracy McGrady. Remember that?
Well, right now, I'd have to also agree with Stan that the close to Tracy McGrady right now is
Andrew
Wiggins.
Wiggins.
Exactly. But
Who's your pick?
who's actually my pick who will be dominating 10 years from now.
Thank you.
Because I feel like he's a complete package. It's just a matter of mentality, you know.
Right,
if he's
right.
gonna bring it every night, you know, the assertiveness. That's always been the question for him. I think that's what all the media has been saying about him. But you know, what's always nice about to see what I look for in each of these rookies is if they can defend. And Andrew Wiggins, you know, right now, NBA ready as a defender. Same with Marcus Smart. So
I can't argue with that on that point because Andrew Wiggins is a freak. That guy's a freak. If you guys seen Andrew Wiggins play like in college or in high school, there are some things that he does on a 2-step jump that we can't even do on a little Tykes court. You know, he's just a freak. But the thing is, the ceiling of Joel Embiid is
so
much higher. So much higher. And I feel like
he has no flaw in this game, especially for a big man.
when was the last time you saw a big man who could do everything? Shoot, defend, move, post up, everything. You know, and the thing about that too is he's in the perfect opportunity. We talked about Wiggins' opportunity earlier.
Right.
Is he in the perfect opportunity? He's not, because they've got a lot of similar players. You know, wings.
and
Well, yeah, Kevin Martin is taking a lot of shots right now.
Shabazz Muhammad is there.
yeah, and who they're trying to groom as well.
Also,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thad Young is there.
We haven't even talked about not that.
Robinson
Yeah,
the
exactly. Not that he's worth mentioning, but
there's a lot of I mean, we're talking about 10 years down the line,
Yeah.
and we don't know where those other players are gonna be.
Dude, for all we know, baka magka-Ben Wallace itong draft class.
Exactly.
yung sa akin,
JJ McDaniels.
parang inisip ko rin din, one is opportunity, but at the same time, two is coaching. I don't know if Flip Saunders is the coach that can take him to the next level.
We know he wasn't for KG.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know also but Brett Brown, but at least he comes from the Spurs tree, so I'm a little bit more comfortable with that.
I love
Sam
Brett.
Presti came from the Spurs tree.
Exactly.
Look how he fucked up.
Hey, we don't know.
We don't know.
That
They
West
lost Jeff
Eustace
Green.
guy.
James Harden. And he picked Josh Eustace.
No, but
And they
Eustace might be a
and they
gem,
gave
though. We don't know.
Kendrick Perkins $10 million a year.
Yeah, that was a terrible.
last year na to.
Yeah, but
And they
alright,
might
Free
do
agent.
Before-
Reggie Jackson.
right. Since we're on the topic and since we're ending, I just keep stressing the point that the two best prospects of the 2014 draft haven't even played yet. Just saying. Just remember the names: Joel Embiid and Dario Saric.
Such a homer.
I think it's just
Homer.
Dario!
Not Dario.
Gotta give love to our creations.
Obviously, like what you said a while ago, Jeff Chan.
Yeah, but yeah.
If Jeff Chat's never making it to the NBA.
Yeah.
All right, we actually have a brand new set of games for the next pick and troll. So in case you're new, the reason why they're actually doing this consequence is because they picked the wrong teams to win. That's essentially it. We have one game for the rest of the week, and we're just gonna make our picks. And if you have the least amount of correct picks, you're gonna have to do the consequence next week.
Our consequence for next week. Let's make it fun. Why don't you guys tell us what our consequence should be? Comment below, tweet at us, comment on our Facebook post or whatever. Give us suggestions. Tell us what you want us to do. Tell us what you want our losers to do, basically.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
That's fine.
All right. So game one.
Game one for next week, November 18th. This is actually tomorrow. You have the Pelicans against the Blazers.
Drew Holiday fan all the way. Pelicans. Let's go. Dime Brothers. Hashtag Dime Brothers. Let's make that shit real.
Right, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take this down para malala din natin. I'm gonna go for the Pelicans as well, just because I know Portland's not at full strength right now.
They aren't?
No, they're not.
But who's not there?
Exactly.
I'll go with the Blazers.
Ooh.
I think it's hard to win in Portland for any team.
I'd have to go with the Blazers too. You have to prove me wrong. Last time I bet and you guys lost.
What, the Cavs?
Oh, split na to.
The Cavs Pelicans game?
No, the Blazers Warriors.
Okay.
I'd go with the Pelicans. I don't want to really mess with Anthony Davis, the beast.
Oh man, Anthony Davis to Marcus Aldridge. How crazy would that match?
It'll be a fun matchup. Bukas na yun, just a few hours away. All right, next up for November 19, the Knicks and the Bucks. Bucks at home.
Bucks. Jason Kidd Homer!
I'm picking the Bucks, man.
Wow, this is a tough one actually.
Giannis will stop.
I'm going Knicks. Why not?
Expat.
I'll go Knicks.
TJ, Bucks ka, di ba?
Yeah.
Alright. November 20, the Spurs and the Cavaliers.
Spurs.
Spurs.
I'm never betting against the Spurs ever again.
Spurs.
I'm sorry, Pop. I'm never gonna doubt you ever.
Yeah,
again.
I'm never rooting against I'm never rooting for LeBron if he's taking on the Spurs.
Oh, that's a good one too.
I'm gonna go with the Spurs.
Wouldn't it be crazy if the Cavs and the Rockets met in the finals this year, and the Cavs lost? So LeBron would have lost to all 3 Texas teams in the finals.
Shit, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Oo nga, no?
I'll go with the Cavs.
Wow.
Wow.
So pivotal game to, ah.
Pivotal.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay. November 21, the Bulls and the Kings.
Bulls. Give me the Bulls. Doubles.
This is home of kings, huh?
matter.
This is gonna be at the Sleep Train Arena.
I want to see DeMarcus Cousins against Joakim Noah.
I'll go with the Bulls.
Then Bulls din ako. Bulls.
I'm gonna go with the Kings.
I have to go with the Bulls.
Shit.
This is proven to be actually a very beneficial way of picking, because Jan Trick picked the Bucks and fucking beat the Heat.
The
no-
lone
Next.
believer.
November 22, Bulls and the Blazers.
Bulls.
Back to back.
Bulls.
Blazers.
Ako Bulls na ako dito.
Sige, Blazers ako. Blazers.
Oh, Blazers.
Crucial! I don't know how this is gonna come out.
Ano sa'yo, Anton?
Bulls, man.
TJ?
Blazers.
Blazers din ako. Blazers.
November 23, the Mavs and the Rockets.
Mavs ako.
Big game, big
that
game.
is-
Good game.
Mavs.
It doesn't matter. They're
Doesn't
both in
matter.
Texas.
At Houston. Doesn't matter. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
both in Texas anyway.
Mavs.
Mavs.
Mavs ako.
So, lahat kay Dallas.
Hey, you're Houston. You're the Jan Trick of this week.
No, I'll go Houston too.
Oh, okay.
I'll go Houston.
Okay. Sige. Alright.
Last
And last
but
game
not
for the week.
least.
Charlotte versus Miami.
They both failed on me this week. I hate those two teams.
Is Dwayne Wade? What's wrong with Dwayne Wade? Is he just resting?
I don't know.
He's old, that's for sure.
Yeah.
He's
similar
banged
to
up and
last
he's
year,
old.
Sitting down for 20 games.
Did not play chillin'.
Yeah, but Dwayne Wade played really well against Lance Stephenson last year.
Miami ang home, ah.
We don't know who's playing.
I'm gonna go with the Heat.
Ang hirap naman.
I know
I'll
you
go
don't-
Charlotte.
Alright. I'm playing secretary, so I'm taking the
I
shit.
think Jeff and Lance will play good. They want revenge for their playoff losses last year.
Yeah, they both lost their party.
Yeah, they did.
Though LeBron's not there.
Anymore.
Doesn't matter.
Lance.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, see? Charlotte na rin ako.
Is
Charlotte.
MKG still like?
He's
hurt.
hurt.
right?
He's hurt.
All right, I'll go Heat. I want to see how they defend Luol then.
I'm picking Charlotte.
Am I the only Heat guy?
No, kayo ni
X-Pac.
X-Pac.
Oh, okay.
Alright.
Here we go again with our Heat.
Alright, if you want to
Where
recap,
last week?
At home na naman.
if you want a recap of this week's pick and troll, which looks very, very fucked up from my point of view right now, you can check it out on Twitter. Follow us. It's at The Recess Table. You can probably see a link as well on our YouTube page. So please subscribe and let us know what you think about our pick and troll picks or about the big threes. If there's any big three we missed out on, any big three you want to talk about, hit us up. All right, I guess that's going to do it for this episode of the Recess Table podcast. If you have any thoughts, anything you want to say, agree, disagree, if you want to call us homers, call us fucking cop-outs, go right ahead. My Twitter is at Stan947.
I'm X-Pac and follow me at X-Pac Pahog.
Follow me at TJ Santos with 3 S's at the end.
This is Jandrick Lim at J. Limberlake.
This is Arellano Ton, and remember, you can't spell Croatian without Asian.
Right, great. One last homer comment before we end. And that's going to do it for us. We're going to sign out. Hit us up on Twitter or catch the next episode, which we're probably also releasing this week. It's episode 3B of The Recess Table. Thanks for grabbing a chair, sports fan. Peace.